the 2022 LQHBA Hall of Fame inductee, trainer Phillip Calais Sr. Phillip Calais Sr. was born in 1943 and was introduced to horse racing as a teenager. As a youngster, he galloped horses including the talented True True and served as an assistant to mentors like trainer Junius De La Houssaye and trainer Wade Navarre.
My father got into horse racing because he loved the sport, and he started off at an early age. He left his home at like 16, and headed to the fairgrounds. I could remember him telling us that all the time. He left, it was like he was 16 years old. He was galloping horses then, and he would just go back and forth between Evangeline and fairgrounds, galloping horses and then grooming horses. Worked for Mr. Junius De La Houssaye. Then he worked for Wade Navarre. He worked with Wade a long time.
He basically went to work for him and started learning a lot of things from them. He got on the track, he galloped, he ponied, he did everything you could think of, and he was an assistant trainer in Mr. Junius De La Houssaye, and had a lot of luck with his horses. He had great horses
and then he started branching off on his own, worked for Wade Navarre for quite a few years, and they had a lot of success, and then he felt comfortable and confident in himself that he could do it on his own, so he went out on his own.
Calais raced at all the major racetracks in Louisiana like Louisiana Downs, Delta Downs, Evangeline, and the New Orleans Fairgrounds.
Actually, one guy ended up sending my dad some quarter horses when he went out on his own and started him. He had a lot of people that just stuck with him. Coming up, he trained for a lot of little people that might have raised a horse, just one or two horses, and they brought him over, and he tried with everybody. Whoever brought him a horse, he tried. He did everything that if they couldn't run, he'd say, we'll find another one. He checked on the brood mares for him, just a long process, He got his hands on some pretty good horses.
In his career, Phillip trained many top Louisiana quarter horses, including the great mare and multiple stakes winner, Choufline.
She won a number of races, but he stuck up against open company, like the Firecracker fraternity. She was the only Louisiana bred. 2 days of trials and qualified. And she wasn't a very big horse. And she went on to have a real good career.
Other notable trainees include Wendy Panna, a multiple futurity winner.
Wendy Panna, it was a very good horse, and he won the sales and the breeders with him, and it was a pretty nice horse. I mean, it was when he first got the horse was real bad in the gates, and he spent a lot of time with him in the gates, and got him to where he was standing good, and he started running for him, and the horse was a real nice horse.
Mardi Gras futurity winner Cajun Bar Pass, and Fast Hemp, who captured the Delta Downs futurity and Delta Downs Derby.
His largest win in his career would probably be the Breeders' Futurity, which is $1 million now. But back then it was only $200,000-300,000. Most of the time it was around $200,000, and he won it twice, I believe. So that was probably his largest victory. As a family, our largest victory was the Dash for Cash futurity, but I Make 'Em Shake in 2003.
And I'd say another horse is a mare called St. Gaudens. It was a pocket corn mare, and he started 7 times going 870 and never got beat. And she ended her career in a morning accident around the barn that ended her career. And that's the mother to Gidry's Pride.
Calais also trained 2 graded stakes winners, including Gidry's Pride, who captured the 1997 LQHBA futurity, and the 1999 Louisiana Champions Day Classic winner, 6 for Bubba.
Gidry's Pride was a real good horse. When we first started working him, he was working real good, but he was a stud colt, and we ran him the first time we ran him in the laddie trials. He run green. Mr. Gidry told my father, he said, Johnny said, look, just go on and cut him. And it was the first time I seen a horse turn around that fast. He cut him like this week in like 3 weeks later, he put him in a maiden special weight, and that horse won like about 3 or 4 lengths. It was, you know, he was a real deal.
Away from the racetrack, Calais was a devoted family man, and him and his wife, Joyce, had 4 children: Sandra, Philip Jr., Casey, and Brian.
It was only me, Brian, and Philip Jr. at the time, and we all hopped in the truck. My mom worked, and she never had to worry. He never had a problem having us. We were with him all the time. On Sundays, we went to the bush track. It was not, oh, I'm gonna have to go to the track. It wasn't nothing like that. We loved what he did. We loved going to the races, the thoroughbred races, the quarter horse races. It didn't matter. We just went.
We'd go every Sunday, and he had one good mare. It was a black mare called Brenda Lee, and she was a very, very good match horse. It was hard to beat her, and but it was nice. Yeah, you know, it was something, you know. And nowadays you really don't see it around here anymore.
He started me galloping at about 7, 8 years old, and after that, that's all I wanted to do was go to the racetrack. So every time I was off of school or on break or summer vacation, I was at the barn, and he made us go to work. Every single one of us, me, my brothers, my sisters, and my nephew. Get up at 3:30 in the morning, and we stay at the barn all day, stay gone. And we'd clean stalls, groom horses, run them, gallop, exercise, everything. And he did all that too. He wasn't never too good for nothing. He always worked just as hard as the lowest man on the totem pole.
He always would tell us, you know, feed your horses well, you know, just feed them plenty. And he always would say, you can't train every horse the same. And it's really true. You know, every horse is different. You have to figure them out, you know. And he would always say, you know, you have to pay attention to your horses, you know, you read your horses, you know, and make sure they're eating well. You know, if a horse is not eating good, you know, something's not right, you know. And make sure they're feeling good. A happy horse and a healthy horse is going to run for you.
The legacy of Phillip Calais Sr. is one of a highly beloved and respected horseman in the Louisiana quarter horse racing industry.
He was so loving, and he loved people. So he would always have a ton of friends, and even at home, the few horses we had at home at the time, maybe 5 to 10 people would come every afternoon and just kick it with him, and he was fine. He was happy, and he loved it.
He just was very, very nice to everyone, you know. Early in the mornings, he'd tell everybody good morning, and if he had a bad day, you really couldn't tell, you know. But if you'd walk in his barn, you know, he'd greet you, you know, and he just loved helping people. He would always tell us, you know, you have to help people, you know, and that's what we always did, you know. We watched him help a lot of people.
The one thing I can tell you about Phillip, Pop was always the first one at the barn. You know, he'd go to the barn, feed his horses, get them all fed first thing in the morning, and then he'd go eat and get breakfast from, then come back and start training. But as long as I knew him, he was the first one at the barn every morning, and fed his horses first before he fed himself, you know.
You didn't find nobody could say nothing bad about Phil. He stayed pretty much to his barn because everything he did was hands-on. He had few grooms, mostly family, and he didn't take the word of this one, not that he didn't trust anybody, it's just he wanted to do it himself. He did so much that no other trainer would do that I know of. He was on the horses, he groomed, he cleaned stalls, pony. He pretty much did it. He's a younger man, he galloped. You know, he pretty much did it all.
You know, like I said, I've known him since I was knee-high, and Sandra, Brian, Boo, Casey, we still friends with him now. I almost think of them as brothers, you know what I mean? They kind of family. They all from Bro Bridge, which we from here, you know, they might be 10 minutes from the farm where their house and where they were raised, where Pop lived, you know what I mean? So they part of our family. Either he was barbecuing at his house and people go over to see his horses, or cooking at his barn, and everybody was welcome. And maybe that's where we get it, where we cook at all the sales, I don't know, but it just always had a welcome feeling at his barn?
He just taught me everything that I know about a horse. Honestly, every single thing I know, I learned from him. I'm thankful that he was alive long enough for me to know that too. He showed me everything from cleaning a stall to taking care of a horse, looking for when something's wrong with a horse, to foaling mares out, everything, man. How to groom them, how to pick up on just signs of how they may be feeling, or to interpret body language of a horse and everything, to training them as well.
Sadly, in 2012, Phillip Calais Sr. passed away after a courageous battle with pancreatic cancer. Another lasting legacy to the quarter horse racing industry from Phillip Calais' family is his descendants who contribute to the industry of racing to this day. His son, Phillip Calais Jr., carries the torch of the Calais family as a public trainer in the quarter horse racing industry in Louisiana. Phillip's daughter, Sandra, is part of the Evangeline Downs Racing Office for the last 17 years. Phillip's son, Casey, is not only a breeder but an avid fan of quarter horse racing in Louisiana. And Phillip's grandson, C.J. McMahon, is a successful thoroughbred rider.
He was so modest, and just he would be happy, but he would probably say they probably could have picked someone else or something. That's just the kind of person he was. He wouldn't think he was deserving of it, but he was deserving of it, very deserving. He helped so many people.
He probably would thank everybody. Probably would say, like my sister, they probably should have passed it on to somebody else. He'd probably be real happy about it, though. I would say he'd be real happy about it.
He would want to thank everybody that paved the way for him and showed him all the mentors that he was able to look up to and that taught him early on. He would thank all of them, thank the horses, thank the people for entrusting their horses to him.
It's an honor, and I wish he was alive to be here to receive it, but it's nice to know he's appreciated and he's recognized for all his efforts throughout his life.
And he'll probably come tell his good friends that, man, I don't understand it, why I would get something like this, but deep down inside he would accept it, and he would enjoy it. I know he would, and I think it's a good thing because he was a good man and a good horseman.